Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about this great little app called Book Creator. What makes this app so great is that iBooks are a great resource for students. However, historically you've had to have a Mac, you've had to use iBooks Author, which is a really complex program to use and there's a lot to it. But now there's an app called Book Creator that we have purchased. It's in self-service for all students and staff, so students can make these iBooks as well. And it just pares down a lot of the features that you don't really need or would use, and makes it just very simple and quick and easy. So Book Creator is kind of this, I don't know, multicolored book with scissors in it. So I'm just going to tap on that. Now I've created a couple of sample books for you, but this is an example of an book using iBook or using Book Creator. It's just a cover. It's very quick and easy to add just different texts, images. You could add sounds, all those different things, and then you can put it in iBooks, and you'll get all of the accessibility features. So the iBook will read to the students. You can upload it very easily into iTunes U. It'll work well on the iPad. There's just a lot of benefits to using iBook as your book medium versus like just a general PDF. All right, so to create it, let's just create a brand new book. I'm going to hit the plus button. All right, and I'm going to make a new book. Now, it is important to note that you can combine books. So let's say you're in a department and two people are writing a book on unit 1, let's say. You can send your book to the other person and they can combine it into one. So it is possible, or even groups, let's say, student group work. Students could work in pairs or threes, I believe, as well. And they could just send all of it to one person. That one person can compile those books together. So it is definitely possible, and it's a great way to kind of get around the whole idea that of doing it by yourself. All right, so I'm going to create a brand new book, and I have a couple of different options. The bottom ones are comic book options, which is nice, but you can also do it on your own. So if you don't know if you're going to do a comic book or not, definitely steer away from those. But if you know it's going to be a comic book, it just kind of adds some nice formatting in there. But like I said, you can always do it on your own. So it's going to be primarily read on the iPad. Probably horizontally is how I would think most people would want to read it. That's how I would want to read it. So I'm going to click landscape. So that's going to be the orientation of my book. All right, and you notice it starts right off onto the cover page. And there's not a lot there, right? It's just this blank screen. On the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice there are 3 buttons, plus the inspector window or inspector button, and then a preview button. So I hit the plus button, and these are the things I can add to my book. Whoops. Sorry. At the very bottom, you see shapes. You can also insert just general shapes as well. There's not a ton of them, but you kind of get the gist of it. All right, so it's the cover, so it should probably have a picture on it, right? So I'm going to do a picture, and I will do a picture of the big Notability logo. Perfect, okay. So there it is. And I'm going to add some text, and the text is going to say, Intro to Notability. Makes sense? I'm going to be done. I'm going to move that text kind of down there. Should not have probably made it. There we go. Oops. Okay. I do get my snap grid line, so I know that it's right in the middle when my grid lines appear. Now, I want that to be bigger. To change it, I'm going to hit the inspector, and this is where I can increase the size of my font. Whoops. Keep double tapping on that by accident. All right, I can increase the size of my font. It's a little bit big, but why not? We'll just go with it. Color, everything like that. Move to back/front. Notice right now it's in front of the picture. If I want, let's say, the picture to be in front of it, I could move my text back. So if I move my text back, it'll go behind it. Probably not the best option, but you can do it. And then general page things I can change. Pretty much the only thing you would change would maybe be the color or the paper if you want a graph paper. It's a very straightforward program. There's not a ton to it, but that's kind of what makes it nice. Now I want to go to a second page. I'm going to hit the arrow, right? To show you again, there's that arrow on the right-hand side. I'm just going to tap it, and here's a new page. And you can add your text. and you can do all kinds of things. Now it's important to know, I can copy and paste, right? So I could, let's say, copy something from a Word doc or a worksheet or something that has already been created and paste it in. So you don't have to worry necessarily always about typing it yourself. You can just highlight and paste. And let's say it's, I don't know, a PDF of something and the highlighting isn't working right, don't really want to retype it, you can take a screenshot of that and you could insert it through photos as well. So there's a lot of different options to get things in there. One nice thing that might be kind of interesting you could do is I'm going to insert a shape, and my shape is going to be a star. Okay, I'm going to insert a star over right there, right dead center. I can make that star be a button to play something. So I'm going to hit the plus button. I'm going to add sound because I want it to play something. So I have the star, I want it to play a sound, so I'm going to record one side of an argument or something like that, right? I haven't finished, I want to use it. So now, notice that star, I'm going to make it the full size of the star, that star is now an audio button. And if I hit the play, this is a preview, I can now tap on this and it will play the audio that I just recorded. Now you're not hearing it because I'm voicing over, so it's not actually like speaking out loud because it's sensing that I'm voicing over it. But normally it would play that audio. But that doesn't look the best, right? I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look the best. I kind of want to change it so it looks better. So I'm going to go to I'm going to tap on the audio. I'm going to go to my inspector. And I'm going to tap something that says invisible in iBooks. Now, when I hit play, notice it doesn't appear, but it's still there. It's invisible. The idea is that I would tap on it and my recording would start playing. But I could insert a larger picture. Let me find a picture with something going on in it. Here we go. Here's the cover from my last iBook. All right, now let's say maybe I want to annotate verbally what's happening in this picture. So I can hit the plus button and I can add sound. All right, so I'm going to add a little recording here, nothing too big, done. Okay, yep, I'm done. Okay, let's say this recording described this little island right here. Okay, I'm going to overlay that on the island. Now let's say I want to describe the lake itself. I'm going to hit the plus button. I'm going to add sound, and this recording would describe the lake and how it formed. It's actually kind of a cool lake because it formed from a volcano. This is a remnant of a volcano. So the volcano erupted and left this huge hole called a caldera, and a lake formed, right? So now, isn't that fun? You're learning something too. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to put that over the lake. And let's say I want to describe something else, whatever. I have a bunch of different audio clips within this one page. Now, if I make these invisible, let me make this one a lot bigger because I want them to be able to click anywhere on that lake to get to it. If I make these invisible, they're not going to see it in iBooks, but I could give them a prompt. I could say, you're not clicking, sorry, your tap on feature for description. Description, perfect. Okay. Whew. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller there. And I'm going to make it white or I'm going to make it bright red. Okay, so now I have this where it says tap on feature for description, and I have the audios that I've attached to the types of pictures. So students could annotate a picture, verbally annotate a picture, or you could annotate a picture, or you could do all sorts of different things with all of these different audio links. So it's kind of a neat little feature, and it's not too tricky. It's kind of quick and easy to do, whereas iBooks Author tends to be a lot more and a lot trickier. From here, let's say I'm done. I've done the entire book. I like what it looks like. I'm happy with it. I am going to hit My Books. I'm going to hit the Share button. Okay. Now there's a couple of the options. Probably the two options that you would use most would be the top one, export as EPUB. Now that's going to turn into an iBook that you can send out to your class. The great thing about that is you're going to get the speaking features of the iBook. It's going to work like a normal iBook, so it'll integrate well with Apple's apps. It'll integrate well with the iPad. It's going to work no matter what. It's going to be great. The only downside is once it's out there, it's kind of like a handout. Once I hand it out there, I can't collect those iBooks back. So that might be a problem if, let's say, you did a new version of it, you fixed a problem. It would be hard to get those originals back. Not that you necessarily would want to, but just so you know, you can't. Publish online, the bottom one, you have a teacher account, and you'd have to sign into your teacher account, but you have a teacher account that you can create because we paid for this. And so you can publish it, and they would like have a website link, and they could go and they could read the book online. The nice thing about that is you can then make changes, and it'll make changes to the book. You can take the book down if you want to take it down and put up a new version or what have you, and it'll do all of that. The downside is that it requires the internet. So if your students don't necessarily have an internet connection at home, or let's say they're on their way to an away game or something like that, they will not be able to access the book. So a couple of just different options, but if you export as an EPUB, this is the iBook, you can put it directly into your iTunes U course. You can probably put it directly into your Google Classroom. Otherwise, you can definitely dump it into Drive and then put it in from there. So it's a very quick, very simple way to make a very powerful book. The maximum is 10,000 pages, so your book cannot be more than 9,999 pages, but more importantly, about 200 megabytes. After that, exporting gets a little weird. You would only really encounter that if you put in a lot of videos and movies and things like that. If you're sticking to text or just a couple movies, you should be fine, no problem whatsoever. All right, this was a very quick tutorial on Book Creator. Once again, it's for teachers and students in self-service. If you have any questions, come see me in room A214. Otherwise, thank you and good luck.